Kevin McGee reporting, and thanks, by the way, to the staff at the Armagh Planetarium for allowing Kevin to film on their large floor map of Northern Ireland. Now, the news of JTI Gallahers' decision to close its Ballymena factory with the loss of over 800 jobs came out of the blue on Tuesday, though not according to the MP for the area, Ian Paisley, who said it was the inevitable result of a European directive on tobacco products, something he'd been warning about, he claimed, for years. And Mr Paisley laid the blame squarely at the door of Sinn Féin's MEP Martina Anderson, who backed that legislation. Ian Paisley is with me now. Martina Anderson was meant to have been here, but she's travelling back from Brussels and is currently stuck in Heathrow, so we'll have to manage without Martina Anderson.
She's on the run.
OK, I'm sure she'll find that very amusing, no doubt. She's unfortunately in Heathrow, and I know she wanted to discuss some of the allegations that you've been making in recent days. I mean, let's be honest, Ian Paisley, this happened on your watch. You're the MP. More than 800 people have lost their jobs. Wouldn't they be justified in feeling that you'd let them down?
If their MP was useless, yes. If their MEP voted to lose them their jobs, definitely. But when their Member of Parliament campaigned for the last 5 years, hand in glove with the trade union in the factory, worked very closely with the workers and warned and was told by other politicians, oh, Paisley, you're scaremongering, we'll never lose 300 jobs, we'll never lose 1,000 jobs in there. Just go back into the archives of the Ballymena Times and the Ballymena Guardian and you'll see my warnings published there and printed there, and political rivals saying I was scaremongering. It came true. And I received a call yesterday from the Secretary of State telling me that she was sorry that she hadn't listened to the warnings that I had given and that the government should have listened closely to those warnings. So I was up.
She said she was sorry for not listening to what you'd said.
I was up close and I told the people, I warned about this, that this decision on tobacco products would ultimately result in job losses and could, I went as far as saying, could see 1,000 jobs gone and the factory closed.
Right. Did she say she can do anything to help?
Well, we're now in a consultation period for the next 3 months. So the factory will discuss with the workers and discuss what will the shape of this ultimate arrangement be. My view is, and I'm sanguine about this, probably rather conclusive, but I don't believe that these jobs will be coming back, and I'll tell you why. This factory does practically two things. First of all, it produces 71 cigarette products. In that part of the factory, those products are going to be reduced because of the new law to by 45 products, leaving us with only 26 products that they will then make. That's about half of their volume wiped out overnight.
Yeah.
They also make, in another part of the factory, this is absolutely critical for people to understand it, they also make roll-your-own products.
Yeah.
Loose tobacco.
Well, we know this.
No, we don't know this because this has
not
been properly put out there. They currently make 22 products in that factory. 16 of those products are wiped out overnight, leaving only 6 products to be left. That means that 80% of what that company does is wiped out. But little bit of wonder, that factory has now been put in jeopardy and has gone.
But what Martina Anderson has said is that this is to do with globalisation. It's to do with JTI Gallagher wanting to maximise its profits. It wants to relocate in other parts of the European Union where the Tobacco Products Directive also applies, where it can get cheaper labour and where it can make bigger profits. Now, maybe she's got a point, because in fact, in March of this year, and I've got the statement in front of me, JTI said in a statement 70 jobs could be at risk in Ballymena because of the Tobacco Products Directive. So it's not because of the directive, it's for other reasons.
If I'd put my hand up to lose 877 people their jobs, believe you me, I'd be scraping around any bucket for any answer and to try and give myself cover. Globalisation, poppycock. That is not...
Why poppycock?
Well, I'll explain it to you very, very clearly. I've already told you what's happening as a result of the directive. The directive has stopped this company making all of those products.
But the company could have invested in new factory lines to be able to...
Okay.
I mean, if it's investing in £60 million a year into the local economy in terms of wages, it could have refitted its factory.
Well, I wish it was that cheap and that easy, Mark. JTI made the single largest investment in Ulster in 2007 when Gallagher was on its knees. They bought it over. Whenever that company would probably have closed down. After they bought it, they then spent £260 million, double what the government's borrowed tonight. They spent £260 million revitalising that plant, putting in new plant machinery. What does our government go and do? It rolls over to Europe and wipes out all of that investment overnight. And Martina's excuse, and your excuse to me tonight is, oh, give us more money, spend more lines. You know what's going to happen next year? our government is then going to introduce plain packaging,
Yeah.
which will then wipe out another line.
I listened
So
very
it's
carefully to an
gone.
interview you did on the radio yesterday, and you began that interview by saying, this is a declining industry. It was living on borrowed time, but the European directive hasn't helped.
Yeah, the European directive has killed it. It has killed this industry in the United Kingdom. Remember...
But it was already living on borrowed time. Those are your words,
not mine.
not
Well,
mine.
in 2007, as I've just said to you, the factory nearly closed. In 2007, Japanese tobacco came in and made the major purchase and the major investment. Okay. And yes, look, tobacco products have been declining because there's a huge health lobby out there. And, you know, I mean, I think we all agree on this. You and me don't want our kids to smoke. We don't smoke. We want to make sure that we have a healthy public. But 1 in 4 people do smoke. Okay. And as a result of that, would they be better off smoking product made here, or should we allow them to import the product? I would rather that we had those 877 people in employment making the product, and at least they would have had their jobs.
All right, OK. Let me ask you finally, and very briefly, if you would, Ian Paisley, about the financial deal that's been struck in the executive by Sinn Féin and the DUP tonight. Is that a good deal for Northern Ireland to borrow £100 million from the Treasury?
Well, you know, a lender will not lend money unless they're convinced that the borrower can pay it back. So essentially our government has gone to the bank, has gone to the Chancellor, put a case to them. The Chancellor said, you're fit for purpose to pay this money back. I'm lending you the money. We see the terms and conditions. They're printed there. It's got us out of an immediate crisis, but this could be solved if Sinn Féin sorted out with us the welfare reform crisis.
OK, we'll leave it there, Ian.